it's absolutely fantastic. We've I've been like a kid with a new toy. I've been running around because I can't quite believe I'm running around on Coronation Street. And they've been so lovely here. We've got carte blanche to do whatever we want, to go wherever we want. We can go anywhere. And here we are, in here. I mean, I'm standing here. Betty's hot pot's being served over this very, very bar. And it's fantastic, isn't it?
Annie Walker was behind here.
And over this bar. Not over the bar. I mean,
But Bet Lynch. Bet.
hey, you, Fielding. Get and do your opening piece to camera. I haven't got all day. We've got to open the bar later on.
It doesn't look anything like it does. At all.
That's because it's haunted.
Is that what it is?
We're all ever so excited because we're on the Coronation Street set, and I've been speaking to people who work here, security guards and the cleaner and stuff, and they're really excited that we're here too because it seems like loads of really scary stuff happens. It seems like it's actually really haunted, so it'd be really, really interesting to see what happens today. And once we get over the fact that we're really excited that we can go into the Rover's Return.
Well, we've been here for a little bit of time. Everyone is amazed. We're all like a bunch of children.
I'm outside the Rover's Return. My mum's going to love it. Brilliant.
This is Bethany.
I mean, I've been through loads of different sets. I've been through, James Bond sets, I've been Star Wars sets, Batman sets, and you kind of treat them as just as sets. But here, for some reason, it's such an institution. We're all kind of, we can't believe we're here. We're standing in the Rover's Return. I mean, I'm standing in here in the cafe. And it's like, look, fake pies. Every time we see this on the TV, they're actually like that. And this one, you actually say that car's actually bitten into. Sugar, look, even the sugar's fake, look. Look, nothing. Look, nothing there at all. It was fantastic. I mean, we can't wait. We're having a load of fun. I'm sure it's going to change when the lights go out later on, but I'll let you know what's going on, because I've got to do a piece with Yvette walking out of the Rover's Return, which she seems to be quite at home with. But I don't know if that's because it's a pub, whether it's because it's a set, or whether it's Coronation Street she feels at home with, but who knows.
What I like to do at every location before kind of the real filming starts, the real investigation, is go around and take a few photographs, try and get a lay of the land essentially. If there are any particular rooms that are associated with hauntings, what I'll try and do is take loads of photos of all the objects and any loose things that are around, because there's a tradition on the show, and certainly in haunted locations, of things flying around. It's always good to have a record earlier on of what was in that particular room. So that's one reason why I'm doing it. The other reason is the reason why all ghost groups take photos of haunted locations, is to see if they can get photographic evidence of spirit, whether it's apparition or light anomalies or orbs, whatever you like. It's trying to get a record of the investigation, essentially.
Might be the floor manager on Most Haunted Live, but my other job is here, and this is Coronation Street. This is lots of sets in the studio. I'll take you around a few. This is the Baldwin's set. And this is Streetcars, where Steve works. This is Roy's Rolls. I love it when we're in Roy's Rolls because the props guys buy in real cakes, and when we've finished filming in here we get to eat them all, so that's my favourite part of the day. This is the Duckworths. This is a very tacky set. It's got a real bar in it. Lots of tacky things from Spain, which is very funny. And what else have we got? This is supposed to be really haunted. Loads of people have seen stuff in here. When it's been dark and when people have been locking up, there's all sorts of figures and stuff been seen in here. So I'm not looking forward to coming in there tonight. And these are the main corridors where this is costume department. This is where the stage managers spend most of their day, in the green room.
So, as soon as I've got this done, we're going to wrap in 20 minutes. We're going to have lunch for an hour. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, I've heard through the grapevine that we've got 1 or 2 celebrities off Coronation Street coming along.
So Sue, you know that you're a Virgo, and you know all those things that people say about Virgos. They're great list makers. They're apparently very tidy, but I have met some very messy Virgos in my life.
I'm very tidy.
I'm sure. Your sun, which is like a circle with a dot in the middle, is in Virgo. Now, okay, all those things, but then we look at where is it? It's in the 12th house sector of your chart, because it's divided into 12 sections. And no matter what kind of Virgo you are, you will fall into 1st house, 2nd house, 3rd house, etc., etc. So 12th house, that's the house of hidden things. So you're a hidden Virgo.
I'm a hidden Virgo.
It means that you are quite secretive. It means that you're also very nostalgic. You possibly, one of the 12th house things is kind of like keeping a box full of pictures of cards, of baby's first shoes, do you know, that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Which I guess...
It doesn't necessarily mean that you sort of like keep things around your house and stuff, because no, it's just like a...
No, it's a nostalgic thing. On the mythical points in your chart, I love, because of the way I look at a chart, I love the mythical points because they often give me more about you, about your soul. So past life stuff, if you believe in that, of course. And for me, astrology, you have to believe in past life, because what would be the point go through all this rigmarole for a birth chart if you weren't doing it time after time? You know? Your north node, which is a mythical point, is in Cancer. Your south node is in Capricorn. Now that Capricorn-Cancer axis makes you a very committed mum, family individual.
In this life now, right? Yeah.
And also clearly very committed to what you do for a living. The balance there is where the past life comes in. So in past lives, you will have forsaken one for the other in some kind of mix.
Really, that's interesting.
So now in this life, you learn to readjust.
So that's fascinating, because that is so true of me. I mean, I would say most of my waking hours are about getting that balance right, and worrying about making sure I got that balance right, so that everybody, you know, stability at home, and yet I can still follow the dream I want, but making sure it works for everybody. So that's really interesting.
I can't believe it. I mean, after all these years of watching it, here I am, sat in the Rovers. It's mad, absolutely mad. But to get back to the job in hand, here to look for, I guess, evidence of the paranormal. It's a difficult one, this one, for me, because there's loads of visuals, obviously. Things you've seen for a long time. Will Albert Tatlock make an appearance, or Elsie Tanner? Who knows? But you've got to dismiss all of the visual clues. I have to, in my mind, if you like, see this as it's presented to me. It could be this time period, it could be 100 years ago, it could be 200 years ago. The spirits, if there are any here, that are haunting. So it's going to be a challenge in oh so many ways, but it's going to be great fun.
I think it's going to be fascinating to be here in the pitch black. I think we might look at the place very differently.
Right, we've just done some table tipping inside the Rovers return set. The reason we're doing this is because we had some good results from the last seance, and David was the other side of that wall, so we're kind of hoping we're going to get a similar kind of thing. Everyone's happy, aren't you? Yeah. David's happy with the way it's open, so let's continue, shall we?
We've had some really good response from the table.
We did make contact again with this character. Now, it was fascinating, and the table did move quite violently.
It's lifted because things up.
Yeah. Oh, gee, come on. Come on, mate.
The table moving to the side, it was lifting up.
This table was dancing around all over the place.
And I actually saw it go up a lot Like that.
Please, please, please lift this table again. If you are here, please lift the table.
Come on, mate, you can do this.
Crushed Rachel a few times.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I just packed this to my knee.
Went so far at one point that Carl basically couldn't move because it had crushed his feet against the stool.
Is that what you're going to do then?
I can't actually move any further back. My legs are now trapped
trapped,
against the
yeah?
stool.
Trapped, yeah. But the height it was coming at, it was amazing because I felt the weight of those tables. They are heavy things. You cannot move those.
And it has lifted, but usual story, it hasn't lifted off all 4 legs.
Even though it was absolutely fascinating, I think that some of the crew members were feeling a bit disheartened that the whole table didn't lift up.
Maybe it'll sort of escalate and maybe more things will happen as the night goes on, but we'll wait and see. Look forward to doing some more vigils. It's very interesting.
I'm just going down on my own, and the makeup room all the way down there. I've been up and down these corridors all day and it's really quite spooky. I'm supposed to hear music coming from one of the dressing rooms, so it's a bit spooky. So I'm just going to go into the makeup room and get my kit and my makeup. I think I'm very brave coming up here by myself, especially when it's so dark. Can you imagine in here how many people in the makeup department, how many stars have passed through here, and well, that was a bit spooky. The door just banged. And I'm really quite scared because I'm all the way up here and they're all the way downstairs. Hello? Is anybody here? Getting quite freaked out actually. I'm really quite freaked out. I'm going to get my stuff and leave.
I was asked to go on a solo vigil down to the corridor in stage 2.
This for me is the most spookiest place.
Yeah, I think it's
Definitely.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
How would you feel coming down here on your own then?
I'll give it a whirl.
Would you?
Yeah,
With
not
a-
for very
on
long
your
though.
With a night vision camera on your own?
We all felt it was pretty spooky down there when we first went there, and also there has been some stories there in the past of some activity, so I went on my own.
Okay, I'm in the corridor now.
And I was frightened to death when I got there. But then when I went in, I got really cold shivers all the way up here and all the way up the back of my neck. Now, whether that is anything but spiritual or anything, but I personally think I was actually frightening myself and just getting myself really frightened. There was one point when I walked down the back end of the corridor coming back towards the control room where the chairs are, and I did really get quite spooked there, but again I don't know whether it was just me frightening myself, my mind playing tricks on me or whatever, because it's very dark in there, and of course I was on my own. When David and Gordon were there earlier this evening, they said they picked up on 2 children. So when I asked about 2 children, I heard noises upstairs, and that was quite frightening.
Are there 2 children? Definite noises.
Frightening stuff, but like I keep saying, whether it's your mind playing tricks on you or whether you're actually frightening yourself, you just don't know, but definitely spooky. I've now turned from avid viewer to huge fan. I won't be missing an episode now.
Okay, friend, we're going to leave you be, and you're happy now, aren't you? We did have a thing going on there with one of the old actors, or actresses rather, from the show, which would seem rather obvious to mention this person, but we did get some really good interaction between, you know, the character herself, giving us physical phenomena, giving us rapping when we asked her questions, and I'm quite satisfied that that personality, or the consciousness of that personality, is still around here, but in the best possible connection, just to look after people and make sure everything's going okay.
Gordon's journey upstairs in Studio 1 saw him identify one particular astral energy. At the time, though, he chose to remain silent on who it was. But later, he did answer our question.
I mean, it's just so obvious, but my whole impression was that it was Pat Phoenix, and that was at the very start. And I didn't want to say that. I mean, we were even saying coming into it, oh, you know, we're going to pick that up, and we haven't. It was the only time I felt we got any real kind of connection, and I didn't want to use the name or communicate with the person verbally, so mentally in my mind I just kept saying, yeah, very happy.
This is our home.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, coming up this stair, it's just all her pictures. When you look at it, it's like she's been put here.
Well, I've just been through the Rover's Return. Okay, well, I'll go around the back. So I went around the back. I got a third of the way down, quarter of the way down. Then I heard this clonk, clonk, clonk. I thought, it's really weird. You kind of shit. What was that? So I came back, and it was in the sort of the yard bit behind the Rover's Return. And as soon as I got in there, you just heard this. And the only time I've ever heard it before was Greengate Brewery, and it was a barrel, a metal barrel. And I looked down, and literally it's coming from the corner towards me. Now, fortunately, I've looked down, but I've looked straight back up into the corner, and I've walked straight towards where the corner is. And I've gone up and down so that people can see there's no one in that corner. I've turned round to the other corner, people can see there's no one in that corner.
And the barrel's rolling at this time?
The barrel's rolling, yeah. There's no one there at all.
And that's exactly where me, Matt and John were when we got the thing thrown at us.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember Greengate Brewery?
Yeah,
I even said, I wish Stuart was here. I said, because he's got more.
Oh, clanging in it with barrels. And...
Well, I said you've got more experience with barrels than I have.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait to have a look at the beer barrel and the. Oh shit! You scared the crap out of me. Look, scared the crap out of me. I thought you were a ghost.
Right, the time is 4:10 in the morning, and I'm really, really tired.
I thought coming to Coronation Street, I always knew it was going to be a fantastic place. I always knew it was going to be something that I would remember for the rest of my life, and so would the crew. I didn't realise exactly how much of an impact this place would have had on everybody, and it really has had an impact.
As a location, fantastic.
This investigation's been superb.
I've really, really enjoyed my experience on Most Haunted.
I kind of didn't think that we would pick up much stuff here, to be honest, because I'd never felt, and I still don't feel, there's anything bad here, anything sinister. Certainly not what I would call haunted as such, but I do think there's loads of residual stuff, loads of memories, and certain people attached spiritually to the place.
There's some banging going on, but it's not paranormal. That is not bio. What if that was paranormal? What is that?
What's above us?
What was all that?
The place it's come up trumps. It's given us so much. It's been one of the most active places we've ever been to. I don't know how these people act every single day of their lives here. I don't know how the crew work here every single day of their lives without constantly being bothered by paranormal activity.
Never felt at any time that there was any bad feeling around here. Just, as always, just feels like home, really, I suppose, to me and Simon, but definitely some peculiar things, and yeah, it's got me thinking about a lot, but I've loved every minute of it.
It's just a lovely atmosphere in the place, and I mean, I'm really enjoying it, I must admit. It's so different from walking down darkened alleys and creepy dungeons and things, so this is an absolute joy.
I've enjoyed myself, and I can't wait, having done Coronation Street, to move on to, if Coronation Street is the first soap, like the #1 soap, to move on to the second soap, #2 slot, which of course everybody knows is Crossroads. So looking forward to that.
Certainly when I come back to work here again, just do a normal job doing makeup, I think I'll see it definitely in a different light.
Just want to say what a fantastic investigation it's been here on the Coronation Street set, meeting the cast and the crew. That's it for this week's Most Haunted Extra. I have thoroughly enjoyed it, and I have to say it's probably one of my most favourite shows. It was just very, very, I'm just starstruck. It was brilliant. Night-night.